Hey, so, I'm Alex, if you didn't know, now you know. I wanted to do something like fall holiday makeup, sort of, but I wanted it to be very, very natural and sort of like, I don't know, just like juicy, so that's what we're doing today. Alright, so I am fresh out of the shower. I moisturized with the Tatcha water cream, so my skin is like nice and hydrated. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is, I was actually just watching, this is so funny, I used to do this forever ago, and I was reminded of it recently when I was watching a Robert Welsh video. Rather than color correcting with like a peach color corrector, I'm just gonna use a slightly darker concealer. This is light beige, hydrating camo concealer by ELF. So it might look, I don't know how well you can tell, but it's probably like a couple shades darker than my skin tone. So I'm just gonna use a tiny bit of that. So this is gonna provide a little bit of coverage, but I won't have to worry too much about like covering up that pink tone or peach tone, because sometimes when I do more natural skin or coverage, it can be a little bit difficult to get rid of like color corrector tone, because I don't want to go in with like a ton of concealer, you know? So the point of this makeup is going to be just very sheer, very natural, and super easy. So I'll add a little more right there because I've got this little spot. For foundation, I'm going to use Rare Beauty. This is 170W to all you Selena stans out there, the ones who are giving me shit. I really like the foundation, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. I didn't hate all the products. Anyway, shake that shit up. This actually provides more coverage than I had previously thought, so I'm just going to do like a stripe in each part of my face. And just start off with that small amount, start building up coverage. So less is definitely going to be more for this. I want to see like natural skin texture. So I'm really just using this to do a little bit of color correcting on my face. I am going to be using my KEVYN Sensual Skin Enhancer in number SX03, which is a very full coverage concealer, but I'm going to be using a small amount. So I'm applying this with the Elaina Badro brush. The little flat concealer brush doesn't have a name. I do have a code for Elaina Badro brushes down below if you're interested. I've been really liking this brush in particular, but I've been using a few of them. Anyway, so I'm going to pick up a tiny amount of that and kind of like buff it off in the cap. I'm going to pat it over here, like where I have darkness, bringing it up onto my nose a little bit, and bring just a little bit in here. I like to brighten around my nose, tiny bit here, and then just a little bit under here. And then I'm going to blend that out with my Elcie Cosmetics Velvet Sponge. So you can do this look with any base that you want, really. Like you can do more full coverage if you want, or keep it lightweight like I want to. You don't have to wear any foundation, you don't have to wear any concealer. You can pretty much do like what suits you or what you are comfortable with. I definitely think that it works best with like lighter coverage. And if you feel like you can't do lighter coverage because you have like a lot of acne or breakouts, just keep like the majority of your coverage light and then do slightly heavier coverage in that area. So build up your foundation in just the spots that you have acne, or if you have like individual pimples, do spot concealing. All right, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit through my like jaw and nose contour because you don't have to do that. I also contour my lips. I also have separate videos on like how I do those things. All right, and then for my cheekbones, I'm just going to do like the tiniest little amount, like right in here, like right in my cheekbone, like not bringing it out here, keeping it right in there. Just like a little line. I prefer using smaller brushes. This one's from Wet n Wild. I'm gonna pat and focus it in that area and then just slowly blend it out. Helps to kind of like turn your face and see where the indent is. I'm just gonna slowly kind of like feather it out. So all we're really doing is kind of diffusing that line. If you want to maintain the coverage that you have in that area, like if you need more coverage, then patting is really good. But you can also, you know, sometimes I do motions like that. All right, I'm just gonna sketch my brows a little bit using the blonde pencil from Maybelline. This is the Ultra Slim Brow Pencil. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying that. This is light blonde. I do have a full eyebrow tutorial and I know you guys have been like loving my brows lately, which I very much appreciate, so I'll link it down below. This isn't exactly necessary, but I am going to go in with a little bit of an eyeshadow primer. You can just do what I'm gonna be doing on naked skin, but I kind of just feel like I need something to cancel out my like veins a little bit. So I'm gonna use the Urban Decay Original Priming Potion. What I like about this is that it's like fairly sheer, and it does provide like a really nice base, but it's not gonna look like the Anastasia one. You know what I mean? It's not gonna make my eyelids like white. And then I'm gonna take a little bit, whatever's left over on my finger, underneath my eye as well. My lower lash line. I like to do this before I set my under eyes, so I can kind of like blend it all together. All right, so before I set my under eyes, I am just going to go in with a teeny bit more of that KEVYN Aquan concealer. Going from KEVYN Aquan concealer, it just seemed like so many like K-Ns or K-Ns. KEVYN Aquan concealer. I thought it was wrong. Anyway, wow. Get it together. So I'm gonna use that same little brush, and all I'm gonna do is like basically right in here, I'm gonna add a teeny bit more product. I'm gonna use that same sponge to blend it out, and then I'm gonna go right in with my powder. So I've already got my little brush ready with powder. This is the MAC 240S, which is my favorite under eye powder brush. Focus it right in here, right in that hollow. And I'm only going to focus it like right under my eyes and along the side of my nose. All right, and then I'm just going to take a teeny bit of that powder, just like in the areas where I tend to get a little oily. So basically just like my T-zone, you know, center of my face. Now, this is super exciting. This is basically like the inspiration for this whole video. This is new MILANI Cheek Kiss blush, cream blush in the shade 140 Merlot Moment. I'm trying to open it. And I just saw this color and I was like, holidays, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply this to my cheeks using the Sigma F40 contour. It's a contour brush, but I use it for blush. Anyway, I'm going to, you can use your fingers, but I like a brush. I like being able to like hold something back here and really see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna dip my tip of my brush into it. About that much, and this product actually shears out really nicely. So I know this looks like really dark for my skin tone, but it's very versatile. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of like apply it to the top of my cheekbone on the inner part and up, if that makes sense. So if you saw my blush video, I was like applying it only here. I'm actually gonna start it right here. And we're gonna bring a little bit over here because gone down a little more pigmented than I remembered. But so we're placing it here and here. I'm gonna wipe off my brush and then start diffusing that out. So this look is all about the blush. Bringing it in underneath the under eye. So it looked scary at first, but it really does like sheer out very nicely. But I'm loving this product. It just looks like healthy, but like juicy, you know? So now what I'm gonna do is pick up a little bit on my finger, pat it off, and then I'm going to apply this all over my lid. So I'm kind of using dragging motions, like patting it down, and I'm literally just going to blend it, like start it on my lid and then just like blend it out. And I'm gonna bring that like all the way up to my brow bone. So again, when you like first put the pigment down, you might be like, oh my God, that's so much. But as you start blending, it really shears out nicely. And what I love about this formula is that it's not like, it looks juicy on the skin, but it doesn't look oily at all. Like it doesn't leave your skin feeling wet at all. This is probably one of my favorite cream blush formulas. And it's drugstore, which is great. But if you do have oily lids, you might want to use like a little bit of a primer like I did. And then if you really want to, you can run it along your lower lash line. I'm just gonna take whatever's left over and kind of like pat, which isn't, it's not really adding pigment. Like I'm not really adding that much product down there, but it's kind of just like adding a little bit of a hue. And then you can also take a little, use like literally the tiniest amount and run it on the top of my nose, right there, which just makes it look like I've been out in the sun. I did have like a little bit of a breakout over here, and putting, like when I applied my blush, it kind of like brought a little bit of that redness back. So I'm just gonna go in with a teeny bit of that ELCIE Cosmetics powder, which, did I tell you? That's what I used to set my under eye? I can't remember. It's a light medium translucent powder. It's what I basically always use. I'm gonna place it right there. Okay, and then for lashes, I am going to curl my lashes. My favorite lash curler is the one by LANCOME. It's just like fits my eye shape really well. I feel like a lot of them, you know, are really hard to get in there, especially the like Revlon one. So basically what I'm gonna do is just pump it a few times, like give my lashes a quick curl. And then for mascara, I am going to be using the Lancome Monsieur Big Waterproof, which is what I always use when I wanna do like natural lashes. I'm not going to be using any falsies. And for my lower lash line, I'm just going to focus it on like the outer half. For lips, I'm going to be using the ELCIE Cosmetics Blush Lip Liner because it's like darker than my natural skin tone. It is a little bit more blush, but it's gonna be a little bit more on the nude side compared to the lip product that we're gonna use. So I do like to slightly overline my lips. This is what I'm going to be using. I'm gonna take this tiny brush by Morphe. It's from a collection. They're like gold collection, but anything like this will do. It's just like kind of a small, almost like a concealer brush, but it's very flexible, which is what I like about it. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna kind of like feather that lip line. So I just kind of wanted to like soften the amount that was on there. And then you can actually do this with that blush, but I'm going to be using the new Dominique Cosmetics, what does that say? Heat of the Moment. This is one of the new holiday lip glosses, which is really, really pretty. It's very pigmented, but you can really sheer it out, which is what we're gonna be doing. So I'm gonna take a tiny amount of that and place it in the center of both of my lips. And then I'm just going to pat it out with my finger. So it just looks like a stain. And you can do this with pretty much any lipstick, but what I like about using a pigmented gloss for that is it's going to like apply, like shearing it out applies like a really beautiful just like wash of color. But because it's a gloss rather than any kind of a lipstick or a liquid lipstick, it's going to remain hydrated. It's like putting a balm on. All right, and then to finish everything off, rather than using like a regular highlighter, I'm going to be using a face gloss. So this is the High Shine Gloss by the brand 1999. This is for eyes, lips, and cheeks. So this is what I'm gonna be using to highlight. And pop that on the tops of my cheekbones and bringing it up. So I'm just gonna follow this C shape right here, up to my brow bone. You could use a sponge, I'm just using my finger. So that's just gonna add like a little bit of a sheen without, you know, any sparkles or anything. All right guys, and this is the finished look. Very simple, super quick, very pretty, you know, like holiday, but not too much. Yeah, that's it. I don't really know what else to say about it. Super quick and easy. Obviously it took longer for me to like describe it to you, but this is a really great like go-to, very natural, pretty, like everyday kind of makeup, you know? All right guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Quickly before I go, I'll let you know my top is from Inamorata, what's her name? Emily Ratajkowski's brand. The necklace is from a brand called Child of Wild. And then the ear cuffs are all from Etsy. So yeah, that's it. Bye.